Developer Insight Next Generation Armor. Welcome to one of many Developer Insight articles for Codename Frontiers. Over the weeks and months to come, we will be covering a lot of different topics about changes coming to Destiny 2 next year with these deeper dives. Check back with our Paving the Way for New Frontiers article for more information on our plans, and as always, updated lists of these articles as they are published. This deep dive is on our future plans for armor. Compared to weapons, armor has been a relatively unexciting reward for a few years now. In the year ahead, we will be introducing new properties to armor and changing how stats work to make it easier to change armor around. TLDR, armor will be more active, interesting part of build crafting. Stats will be reworked to be more impactful, less confusing, and less constraining. Set bonuses will be introduced to give individual armor sets more unique identities and build crafting elements. So not only are we getting a combatant overhaul, like a combatant 3.0, we're getting like an armor. That's like an armor 3.0, right? All right, the problem. In the years since the last major update, Shadowkeep's Armor 2.0 armor has settled into a relatively static part of the reward story. Once you have the right stat rolls, there's very little else to look forward to. And the intricate balance of stat values has a lock-in effect that makes it hard to want to swap anything out anyway. For armor to be exciting again, it needs some unique properties, and stats need to be easier to manage without so much need for fine-tuning. The solution? Reworked stat mechanics. Stats on armor will be changing in Codename Frontiers in order to make them more player-friendly. The first major change is the mechanics of the stats themselves. Stat effects will no longer be tiered every 10 points. Every point in a stat will provide a benefit. This change is intended to reduce the lock-in effect that happens when a fine-tuned combination of stat values makes it feel impossible to switch out any single armor piece. Because that means that 69 stat in whatever perfection. Stat effects will be capped at 200 though, with a range from 101 to 200, providing an additional powerful effect building on the base effect. This change is intended to support deeper investment in a smaller number of stats and spikier stat distributions on armor with fewer secondary dumping stats. So again, for those that are understanding this or reading this right now, the cap is 100. You can go above 100, but you get no added benefits for going over 100. Occasionally I'll come across a Titan, he's rocking, 120 resilience, and we laugh at that guy and say, why? But in the next expansion, there's going to be benefits for going over 100, all the way up to 200, which means actually like stacking out a single stat all the way to 200. It's going to tank everything else. And when you look at all your other stat values, they're going to be next to nothing. You may be rocking damn near 1 resilience or what I'm sure that we're going to get into it in just a bit more, but maybe having 200 discipline offers enough of a benefit to tank everything else. Now, in addition to the above changes, the distribution of stats on armor will also be changing. Legendary armor will have a stat archetype, which determines the primary and secondary stat types, with the third stat being a free roll. The values of these stats should overall be spikier, leading to fewer points in dump stats. The class slot, Hunter Cloaks, Warlock Bonds, and Titan Marks will have full stat distributions on par with other slots. All right, hold on. Let's take a look at this. You'll see this image right here. Here we go. Chesty, okay, Brawler, Strength 30, Intellect 10, Discipline 20. This is a 60 stat roll piece, but it's only being split between 3 stats here. Now, Brawler. Armor archetypes have extreme melee and other close range capabilities. Okay. And the mods here that are selected. How do you feel about just 3 stats that things are being allocated to? It simplifies it. I mean, we were just discussing today how new players are struggling to understand the game. I think 3 stats is more understandable. Also, I don't know. We have to see how the stat distributions, because this looks like all even numbers too as well. I'm curious how that's going to play a role. Now, the result will be smaller number of unique stats on any piece of armor with larger contribution to these stats and every stat point providing a benefit. These changes should ultimately make every piece of armor more interesting and easier to evaluate. Now, new stats. Some stats will be changing with 3 goals in mind. Number 1, improve specific weak stats that offer little value. Number 2, reduce or eliminate mandatory must-have stats. And number 3, overall improve understandability of stats and their effects. Fantastic. This is, again, goes back to what we were talking about the new player experience. Now, these changes are still under active development, but here are a few examples from work-in-progress designs, which will eventually include most or all the current stats found on armor. Discipline, from 1 to 100, provides increasing grenade cooldown reduction. From 101 to 200, provides an increasing chance to gain bonus grenade charge whenever your grenade becomes available. Dude, that's nuts. That's so like, meaning it comes off a cooldown, guys. There's an increased chance that progressively gets stronger the further you go up in the stat chain. That will give you a bonus grenade charge. I don't know what that chance is going to be, right? I'm not sure what that chance is going to be, but you can imagine, I mean, think about any build that you have, any loadout that you have right now. Imagine sitting there with Controverse holds and, you know, Vortex grenade, right? And it's constantly recharging. Think about how many times that's recharged double grenades, and you keep supercharging those grenades over and over. That's gonna be wild. Think about Starfire Protocol, and like even on Prismatic too. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, just for the exotics themselves that lean into those grenade-based builds, and you combine this even with like exotic class items with Spirit of Inmost Light. It can be nuts. Now the stat is being renamed to Grenade to improve readability. Bungie's like, we're gonna stupid proof this shit. What is this? What is discipline? No confusion. Grenade. Well, look, I think the renaming, I know it seems like super simplified. I think stupid proofing is important. You want new players to get into this game and they understand it. There should be no misunderstanding here. Because I will say, somebody's looking at discipline, unless they look at the icon or read the readout, right? They're gonna be like, whoa, what's discipline? You know what I mean? But like grenade, very simple. Now strength from 1 to 100 provides increasing melee cooldown reduction. From 101 to 200 provides an increasing chance to gain bonus melee charge whenever your power melee becomes available. Stat renamed to melee to improve readability. So I'm really curious to know how this is going to work, and same with grenades too. But like for melees, for instance, when you have like multiple melees already, I mean, how does this work? Like one melee comes back and you have a chance at that moment to get 2 melees in those moments. If it's fully charged, you can go over that threshold and get, say, you know, from 3 melees, like the strand melee on Warlock, or even the strand melee there on Titan. You can go from 3 to 4. So any additional charge. And then, well, I mean, like just thinking about like certain exotics that already they intrinsically give you an extra charge. You go, I'm assuming you can go even beyond that. Or is there going to be a cap? Let's just see. Now the stat is being renamed to melee to improve readability. Stupid proofing. I love this. Now, special ammo from 1 to 100, increased rate at which special ammo bricks drop from final blows. From 101 to 200 provides an increasing chance that a double-sized brick will drop. Wait, what? That's a new stat. It's a special ammo stat. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it in the picture. I see mobility, resilience, recovery, discipline, intellect, strength. I guess in this situation, if you're like, you know, maybe you're doing a solo run or something, or speed running, and you want to rock double special, then you may want to lean into that 200 stat distribution for special ammo. Am I misunderstanding this right now? Am I understanding this correctly? This is going to be a stat. I'm reading this as special ammo being its own stat, because it says right here, these changes are still under active development, but here are a few examples from work in progress designs, which will eventually include most or all the current stats found on armor. Current stats found on armor. The stupid proofing is not working right now, Bungie. All right, let's keep going. Hold on. As we keep reading, hopefully we'll be able to answer these questions that we have. Now, set bonuses. The second major change to armor is the introduction of set bonuses. Think of them like an origin trait for armor. They'll represent the theme of the armor and allow you to reflect that fantasy in the way your build plays. Set bonuses are perks granted when you equip 2 and 4 pieces of armor from the same set. This allows you to either commit to 2 bonuses from the same set or find combinations that fit your unique needs. Now, we're keeping both approaches in mind as they take shape, and are excited to see what each Guardian chooses to do with these new tools. Note that there is no bonuses at 5 pieces, because most builds are expected to include a piece of exotic armor. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I was fighting. I would want to cap it out at 4 for the set bonus, and then attach my exotic with it to flesh out that build even further, right? Now, as you'll see, perks will consist of either existing mods or will be newly designed. We've included a few examples below that represent the general direction we'd like to go. All right, so theme, perk 1 and 2 pieces, and then perk 2, 4 pieces. Okay, so just like God of War, guys, you'll have your 2 pieces that unlock, say God of Wukong, whatever. You have your stat that unlocks from 2 pieces, and then under it will be there's the stat that unlocks from 4 pieces. So Text Mechanica. While shooting from the hip, you have increased movement speed and weapon handling. Effect increases when you score hits. Okay. If you did the 4-piece, Text Mechanica weapons have increased range and accuracy when hip fire. Dude, this is going to this goes in PvP, guys. These bonuses apply. Both of these apply to PvP. You want your last word to land shots at greater range? Here you go, man. Now, non-stop aggression. Final blows with freshly reloaded weapons heal you. Damaging a target with a shotgun or fusion rifle increases the damage it takes from those weapons for a short time. Wait, hold up. Damaging a target with a shotgun or fusion rifle increases the damage it takes from those weapons for a short time. So you're gonna have a debuff for those weapons specifically. You're also gonna be able to heal yourself after you reload and get a final blow. I don't really like reloading a fusion rifle, and I also don't like reloading a shotgun. But Acreus, you could use Acreus. What's some other weapons, guys? Now, here's the thing. The final blows with freshly reloaded weapons heal you. That could be used for any other weapon. I'm just trying to find ways to lean into that, into the 4-piece perk. But you can imagine something like this on a grenade launcher being so good. So good, man. Because you're reloading every single time. You imagine on a bow. Think about it on a bow, guys. Every time you knock another arrow, get a kill with it. Boom. You're able to heal yourself. But I do want to lean into the shotgun fusion rifle fantasy because it's like, all right, I'm already committing 4 pieces of armor here. How can I lean into both of these at the same time? Tessellation. Ooh, good point. Somebody just said a Vex Mythic class. Yeah, Vex Mythic class could do it. And who knows what weapons we're going to get from now until then. Now, here's the other thing. I'm almost certain it's going to require manual reload. Because, you know, like, it would be nice if Slide Shot would work. Or even Slideways. Or maybe even Grave Robber. I'm almost certain it's going to require us to get a manual reload. We'll see. They allow it to, you know, work with those perks. I have a ton of other weapons we can utilize alongside. Why wouldn't their perks work? Most of the times in the past, or with perks and traits that have anything to do with reload, it requires an actual manual reload. I'm hoping that's not the case here. We'll have to see. Hence why you can't proc kill clip with slide shot. You can't go out there, you can't get a kill, slide, and proc kill clip. Other perks, fold shot. Remember, you can mix and match these. That's right. You could do 2 pieces in this column with another 2-piece column. And we're gonna keep looking at this. Now, Demolition's Expert. Direct hits with explosive weapons temporarily increases their reload speed. All right, so I would actually pair Demolition and Non-Stop Aggression, both of these with the grenade launcher. Literally the grenade launcher they just showed us. Go with both of those. You're getting increased reload speed and you're able to heal yourself with those geo shots. Now hold on. Repeated direct hits with explosive weapons temporarily increases grenade ability damage. Okay, interesting. Now Vanguard Operative. Activating your grenade gives you and nearby allies damage resistance against combatants. Defeating champions with the finisher generates special ammo for you and your fire team. Wow. So literally just so not heavy but special, but it's almost like an Aeon Gauntlet situation, right? We're just having the armor can generate special ammo for you and your fire team. Here's the thing, what I'm noticing. Don't get me wrong, the 4-piece sets look really good. Some of them look really, really good. And again, it comes down to like, you know, how much of a buff are we getting here, right? How much of a grenade ability damage buff are we getting here? So those are things we just have to test to see. But even just the mixing the 2 set pieces together, like some of these are just meant for each other. And that's good. They're going to be beautiful. Now, frequently asked questions. What happens to my old armor? Oh, legendary armor will be changed as little as possible, but because it changed the stat mechanics and types or global changes, old armor pieces will have their stat types, but not their values changed around. When possible, these changes will be to the most similar stats, but with some stats being fundamentally reworked, this won't always be possible. Now, what about exotic armor? Updating the exotic armor pursuits is on a roadmap, but won't be part of the initial update that is focusing on legendary armor. So to make sure that exotics and their build-defining perks remain a compelling option, we are working on a design that will allow players to update their exotic armor to bring their stat bonuses in line with the changes to legendary armor. Now, the exotic class items introduced in the final shape are a special case. Even though legendary class items will be gaining full random stats with this update, we don't wish to add additional randomness to the exotic class item chase. Instead, we will be providing a method for players to update their existing exotic class items with additional stats for their choosing to bring them in line with the stat contribution of the new legendary class items. More details on the longer term plans for exotic armor coming as we nail them down. Oh, here we go. My vault is full. Where am I supposed to store all of this new armor? We know that vault pressure is a real problem for many players, even with the recent increases in vault space. Outside of adding more space, an option, real solutions that enable long-term storage of more desirable roles are really hard problems. But those are the problems we're penciling into our roadmap at or around next year's second expansion, codenamed Behemoth. We'll share more details when we have a clear direction for how we think we can solve this one. Interesting. So it doesn't sound like just adding more vault space is the solution that Bungie wants to go for here. Maybe it is. It says real solutions that enable long-term storage of more desirable roles are really hard problems. What could they do? Why do you even need to keep a ton of armor? Melky, did you just read what we just read? It's stat bonuses, brother. Right now, everyone's pretty much kept the same pieces of armor. You get a high stat roll armor and you're good. You can pretty much walk away and be good expansion to expansion. But now that we have set bonuses, brother, everybody, I'm going to be farming the piss out of armor. I'm going to have different armor sets for different activities, different builds, PvE and PvP. Ooh, that's a great point. What if we end up having a vault that's just for weapons and a vault that's just for armor? I don't know how that would work. And how does that actually save vault space? That's dumb. Then what's your fucking solution? I'm not the idea guy. I'm just spitting out some shit. Overall, guys, I'm pleased with everything we saw today. I'm excited about the future of Destiny. We'll have a TLDR breakdown of everything we saw on the stream, and that will be out at some point this evening. As far as like the updates to armor, this is great. We need this. I have not cared about armor in years. And, you know, even like artifice armor, it's like, all right, I'll give my little small little benefit there, but it really just didn't care. And so this system right here, I feel like I'm going to care more about it, especially from a build crafting perspective. I think on the other side of things is that we need a system like this, considering how hard combatants look like they're going to be with the new Bane system and everything and the modifiers. It looks like, you know, I mean, right now we're thinking in our heads, why would I ever need a 200 discipline stat? Perhaps at some point in the future, you may need that build, whatever that ultimate grandmaster, whatever. So I'm down.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.